Union Finance and Corporate Affairs Minister Nirmala Sitharaman এতিয়া নাগালেণ্ডে আহি কিনে আছে তো সময় November 14th National Institute of Electronic and Information Technology Kohima কাৰণে Samarth Innovation Kits to launch কৰি দিছে Samarth তো কি আছে কইলে students advancing mindsets in AI robotics technology আৰু digital hardware কই কিনা আছে কুন্দলা aim do AI IoT electronics robotics Our drone technology la advanced learning the students khan ge school de dibole paribole karne ase eta kane government higher secondary schools Kohima Dimapur aru Mokjong Vineyard school GRIO school aru Christian higher secondary schools pra itula kits to pabole ase Sitharaman ra itula launching program de shuru no ha age de NIELIT Kohima laga India AI lab aru R&D cyber forensics lab visit kurise tate students aru startup khan ra Takanla innovation do dikhaise.
Witness this important step towards a stronger partnership.
In a country of 1.4 billion dreams, the future begins not in boardrooms or labs, but in classrooms, where a curious question, a spark of imagination, can change the world. But what if the next revolution in technology began in a school where curiosity meets creativity? What if every young mind, no matter how remote, had the tools to dream, design, and build the future? For over 3 decades, Nielit, under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology Government of India, has been the trusted force behind the nation's digital transformation.
Student kits form a complete multi-level learning pathway with over 100 experiments and research options. Next, together they transform learners from beginners into confident innovators. The formal launch of the Samarth and unveiling of its dedicated kit. Next, from TM Government Higher Secondary School. Next, from the government. Now may I call up. Next, I call. Next, from Christian.
Before I come to answering you, AI is something which has to be spread like this, to students, particularly school students, and it is important that our younger generation feels comfortable in handling AI-related matters. Of course, you can always qualify further and further and acquire skills from specialists like the semiconductor-related skills that you will need. And I'm glad, first of all, that whilst Tatas came forward to set up that major state-of-the-art production center of ATMP in Assam state government and Tatas are doing it. I went only 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, to see that center. It's amazing. And I would like every young person to aspire to be a part of that, each according to their capacity. So that was running in my mind, and I requested Tatas to come to Nagaland, because I'm here now. I thought I'd link it up so that a central institute like this place, Nielit, has the advantage of Tatas coming and giving you skills for the semiconductor-related world. And if that is available here, irrespective, and I was happy to hear from Dr. Tripathi that he would I mean, all the trainings are open for all students and it's not reserved only for engineering students and so on. The world is wide open for every child, every school-going young person and those who are wanting to enter college or even those who just passed out of college. So I think it is a brilliant opportunity. And if I have to say this with a sense of, not bad, Northeast, you're doing really good. This is a classic example where under Prime Minister Modi, Northeast gets every priority, even before any other part of the country gets. Nielit or institutions of this kind are established all over the country, no doubt. But the partnership with the private sector and the flexibility in the courses and the advantage that you get is immediately within the Northeast you have an opportunity to go, see, visit, get an experience and eventually even qualify to be able to work there in whichever capacity. In that, Northeast is miles ahead of rest of the country. And I think that is only right because the youth here are revving for more and more opportunities. You have the right skill sets, you're ready, you're enthusiastic, you want to do a lot of things, and it is only right that you get it. So that's before I answered that. I'm glad you asked that question because financial awareness is important for women. And it is not something which is new for women in India because traditionally, whichever part of the country be it, women have been the managers of household. They kept their accounts, they kept the money, they knew to prioritize the meager resources for different things about a household, the elders to be cared for, the young to be attended to, schooling and nutrition and so on. Now what I suggest and I indicate through this answer is, whilst this traditional strength that women had, in between I think because of the various different priorities, all this has thinned out. But now because of the awareness campaigns that Finance Ministry, Reserve Bank of India and also the stock markets themselves are building, there is a greater awareness on how women should manage their finances far more with a sense of what's before them, what's available before them and so on. So in this, a particular aspect is embedded. One is that you are anyway going to have to, in this new world of opportunities opening up, for earning with the little savings that you got better rather than in a very conservative risk-free environment what you earn through small savings and so on. You have ever so many opportunities now opening up. But the embedded matter is women and their empowerment and financial independence for women. Earlier when we lived as a part of the joint family, which I suppose many people in Northeast still do, the responsibility also gave you the understanding of how much you would control for yourself or your daughter or your elder women and so on. But as I said, all this has thinned out or sort of disappeared from the scheme of things. But in today's world, it is possible that you earn your own money. Although being a part of the family, you will still know how to have your money serving to the family and serving your own personal requirements. So as much as you should control money, as much as you should manage money, you should also become financially independent. Not at the detriment of the family, but to strengthen the family. For strengthening your own cause and your children and your parents' cause. I think you should have. And in that road, let us say, Government of India has launched quite a few things to help women's financial independence. You're not expected to have any security when you want to borrow money from the bank. It is ensured by the Government of India. You can take that money, do your business, earn your profit, put that money back into savings. And when you put that money back into savings, there are accounts through which you get better rate of interest. Other than that, of course, the stock markets are available both for men and women. There are schemes which you can start for your children right from the beginning. PM Vatsalya is one such a scheme where you put little money, it doesn't matter how much. There is no cap, there is no minimum expectation. You should minimum put 10,000 rupees. No, put anything. From the time the child is born till about 18 or 21 or 23, when she or her or the boy gets their own job, then this becomes an automatic conversion into their provident fund account. So the pool is already ready with the trickles that you collect. And then when you go further and you find your job, this becomes your pension account as well. So it starts with a greater corpus, and you tend to earn more because of the corpus which is, let us say, compared to somebody else who joins this account at the time you and she got the same job or a job in the institution where you went in. She didn't have this back pool, whereas you go in with the advantage of the pool having been built from the time you were born till the time you formed the job. So there are so many such schemes from Government of India, which if you're clued into, you are better off because you can put little money and continue to keep saving, which stands by you. Particularly women, it comes in handy at a time when you may want it, some exigencies develop and so on. So one, your financial independence, two, your awareness, and three, keeping yourself glued to the various schemes which Government of India can give, through which you are able to have better earnings from what you save. I don't know if I've answered your question. Northeast has been kept at the center of policy when you're looking at development, skills, investments in Northeast, but first of all making up for the lack of infrastructure which was the situation for almost 40-50 years. I think capacities have been so ramped up that we've bridged the fundamental requirements, now we're building on the additional ones. But digital capabilities are now, I think, very speedily catching up in the Northeast. That also gives you the advantage when you're looking at connecting to the world through the digital marketing space that is available. So Northeast is being kept top of the priority, and that will continue so that you serve the purpose of Act East, being the gateway to Southeast Asia and so on. So that's on. Thank you. We want to be a part of this. We want to participate in this. We want to contribute to this. What is this? This is the aspiration of all youth of India. They want to see a better India. They want to see a developed India. They want to see an India in which they have participated in building it. That's a very constructive approach, and I appreciate the youth of India, as I want to treat him as a representative, for being very positive. And I'm sorry to have to bring in one element which you probably didn't have in the remotest corner of your mind. I say it with a purpose. I say it with a purpose that today's youth are the ones who have to guide the country, the policymakers, as much as guide your own friends and relatives who are of your age, belonging to the same age group. Because in some parts of the country, I see, not all, but some students being very misguided. They get into drugs, they get into bad company, and as a result, the wonderful opportunity that is before you, in terms of skilling yourself, in terms of contributing positively to the society, in terms of being a vital force in nation building. And that is the role which is very important and which I see here. And therefore it will be very important for you all to be as a large team, work together, support each other, be sure that you're giving confidence to one another rather than pulling down one and making, some people become bullies. And that also can impact the psychology of other students. We do not want any of that. We want one to be of help to the other and build capacities among ourselves. That way, the larger spirit, the larger ecosystem becomes positive. You see the opportunities before you. You help one another to access opportunities, and therefore this generation will lay a very strong foundation for India that by 2047, when you will be in your, let us say, 30s, you will have an India which you'll be proud of. We have an inheritance which we can be proud of, but we have it today which should be laying the foundation for our future generations to be proud of us. And that's where your contribution is very important. So, thank you for asking. I was under the impression that the Department of Northeastern Region and the Don Air Ministry has a dashboard of sorts in which all fellowships and scholarships which are available is available for you to see and access. I will have to check this. If it is there, that's one big source for you to get information from. Or else I will have to initiate it through the Ministry Department of Higher Education and Ministry of Human Resource Development to see if there can be a portal made available for this purpose. I think this issue was fairly well discussed, and we had a lot of government answering in Parliament as well, that the UFO fund, which is there for digital connectivity to be spread all over the country, is being used rapidly so that you have the connectivity reaching the villages first. Earlier it used to be villages first. Now it's reaching utilities within the village, post office, school, hospital, panchayat bhavan, and so on. So the fiber network is moving everywhere under the BharatNet program. And as a result, what is expected to probably be completed by 29 is getting completed even earlier, much earlier. So once the schools or panchayat offices or the hospitals get connected, the purpose of having digital connectivity for education or health or any other such important community-based or impacting the community itself will happen sooner. So that's a work which is happening with great rapidity, I must admit. And together with it, I'm happy and proud to say, India developed, BSNL developed its own 4G, it developed its own 5G, and it is already launched in all the parts of the country, the 5G. And I know some work is advancing towards the next generation also. So we are not just looking at getting the cable, optical fiber cables reaching all the villages and schools, but we are also looking at the spectrum sharing and usage of spectrum. Together with this, of course, the telecommunications network, both private and public, whether it's BSNL or private companies, are also auctioned different parts of the world, of the country for their services to be given. They are also moving to cover difficult or far-flung parts of the country. So those are approached from various different angles, but they are all getting laid on the ground. Immense. Whether it is core industry, cement, or specialized steel, or any such which are important for nation building. Please sit. You have Northeast having every potential of a traditional core industry to come here and set up business. But before that, it's not always the core industries which have to come first, and later on you move to renewable energy or any of these green hydrogen and things like that, and then look at semiconductors, chip manufacturing. Everything is happening simultaneously. Much before you knew land resources of, let us say, Kifre, or the rare earths of Kifre are even touched, you have semiconductors over. More towards strengthening them is also equally happening. So there's no priority that I've set for you, saying let this industry come, this is likely to grow, everything is growing equally. And with waterways, multimodal transport that you're building, the traditional challenge that Northeast faced, logistics, movement from here to a port, from here to an airport, are all being bridged so that one big challenge of the Northeast is also being addressed.